Hey, that was a good test. All right, I'm excited for 2023 as well. Luckily for me, I only live 38 minutes, I think, that way. And so when Debbie asked me to come here, I was super excited to spend some time with you. I love you because I am you. Some of you might not know that yet, but my whole origin story started with a cleaning company just south of Flint, Michigan. Anybody heard of Flint, Michigan? It's not exactly a tourist destination, okay? Avoid the water. But I started a tiny little window cleaning business in Fenton, Michigan. And if you followed me, you know that I have 5 kids. Anybody have kids at all? Say, I do. Anybody have more than 3 kids? Say, me. Ooh, okay, you got a little quieter there. If anybody crazy enough to have more than 5 kids, say, I'm crazy. All right. We need more world changers, right? You know, the people in this room, definitionally, you're weird. And I say that like lovingly. You know, you're movement makers and job creators, you're world changers. I have my 16-year-old son wandering around here with a camera. It says world changer on the front of his shirt. We need entrepreneurs to change the world. If you agree, say, heck yeah. Heck yeah. All right, so with kids, I'll just introduce you real quick. First, we have Maverick, who's the guy in the back there. We call him second dad. He's kind of like little Josh, right? He's kind of managing the herd when I'm occupied. This is Tucker. He's the second oldest, but he's taller and bigger than Maverick, which kind of stinks for you, Maverick, right? Can you still beat him up, Maverick? He's got him. He can still beat him up. This is Sawyer. Sawyer is our analytical kid. It's amazing how all kids are so different, isn't it? You would think my wife and I, that's what sex is. We do that, and then a kid comes out. You'd think there'd be some consistency, but there's really not. Sawyer is what we call our well-actually kid, because he wears his glasses, and I'll say something, and he'll correct me. He'll go, well, actually, in the Cretaceous period. So that's Sawyer. This is Finley. She was born in Costa Rica. I actually sold my cleaning company years ago. We felt like God told us to move to Costa Rica, so we did for quite a while. She was born there. And then Judah is our youngest. And here's the thing. Judah, the youngest, she may be the best marketer in the Latimer household, right? Who here knows that your kids market to you? Say, I do. Right? They're naturally good at it. I mean, technically, a baby crying is a form of marketing if we think about it, right? It's a form of communication. Judah is so good. I think it's partially because of her, but it's mostly because she's my youngest daughter. And for all the dads in the room, daughters are different, right? And she just can get me to do stuff I would never do for anybody else. And it's this weird thing, right? I mean, she looks like this. Look at Judah, right? How do you say no to that? It's like, I don't know how I participated in the creation of that. Doesn't make any sense. So, title of the presentation is Everything is Marketing. Marketing is everything. When I say marketing, I don't want you to get it twisted with what you think I mean when I say marketing. I have my own definitions. I think that marketing literally is everything, and everything literally is marketing. And my goal over the next 30 minutes or so is to try to red pill you into this idea. You know, marketing is choreographed communication. You as leaders in your company, you're constantly marketing to everyone around you. Technically, when you're not even speaking, you're marketing. Who knows that the way you smell is a form of communication? Say, yeah, right? So people market even when they don't know they're marketing. It's called a nonverbal signal. Nonverbal signals are a form of choreographed communication. The way you dress, the way you look, the process, the way you answer the phone, the voice inflection, the tone, the pacing, the way that you do what you do is a form of marketing. Now, my definition of marketing, to keep it super simple if you want to write it down, and I have 92 slides to go through in 30 minutes, so get ready to rock, okay? My definition of marketing is simply to make known. It means to make known. Me as a father, I am a marketer to my children. It is my job to pass my beliefs, values, and principles from my brain into their brain. And I don't do that effectively by just telling them what to believe. I have to help them understand how to think, how to problem solve. I need to persuade my children so that hopefully they come to the conclusions I want them to, but I can't just beat them over the head, right? So to make known what you are, what your company is, what you stand for, who you fight against, everything is marketing. It's deeper than you could ever imagine. This here was one of my best marketing closes of all time. This is my high school sweetheart, Ashlee, who also came here. She's back over here. Ashlee, hi. She has not traded me in for a newer model yet, but we've been married 21 years. But I met her by doing the famous locker slam, which is a true story. I walked up to her locker and I said, hey, how's it going, right? Actually happened, true story. I asked her to go to homecoming dance with me. She already had a different date, so I had to do some more marketing. I went to the guy that was going to take her and I said, you're not taking her, I'm taking her, right? Let's have a conversation. Got him to untake her so I could take her, okay? Who knows that that's high-level persuasion? Say, I do, right? Okay. When it comes to marketing your business, most smaller companies, we look at it one-dimensionally. We think that marketing means a flyer. You go in the Facebook group and you say, should the flyer be green or red? And then everyone argues, right? That's not really marketing. Or I guess it is, but it's not sophisticated. It's not asymmetrical. It's not deep. So let's talk about some of the common marketing things people talk about with business. You have Facebook marketing. If you're running Facebook ads, say, I am. Okay. We have direct mail. Any direct mail people? I am? Oh yeah, I should have said say I am. That was confusing. Okay, then we have Google. Google ads are popular. Say Google. Okay, we have YouTube ads. Any YouTube? Say YouTube. You got to say it like that too. YouTube. Nobody? Then there's flyers, there's door hangers, there's magazines, there's Angie's List. Is that still a thing? There's Craigslist. There's billboards, there's Valpak. There's lots of stuff. Join your chamber of commerce, do some networking, door knocking, but my presentation isn't to teach you how to do those things better. You can figure that out. And there's a lot of really smart people in the room winning with these different tactics. But here's my weird angle to try to be all in for you and to add value for you. I'm hoping this will change your life for the rest of your life. What if I told you that none of those things are the answer? The problems you have in your business are not going to be solved by clicking the right button in the Facebook Ads Manager that was previously hidden from you. That might help, but it's not the thing. We're going to talk about the real thing. The real answer is learning to think asymmetrically, which is, it's a nerdy, fancy word, but when we're approaching problems, we look at it like this, right? But what if we looked at it like that, right? When you see an obstacle or a wall in front of you, most people hit it. Most of the world, not the people in this room, most of the world just say, guess I can't go any farther, right? That's not you. But some of y'all will hit the wall and you'll try to go climb over it, or you'll try to walk around it, right? For the really smart people, you might try to dig a tunnel under it. But for the real marketers, the asymmetrical thinkers, the world changers, they realize that with quantum physics, maybe you could go through it, right? There's all kinds of different ways to look at things. And if you want to write her down or take a picture of this slide, because I'm going to keep going, but you make a lot more money with your brain than you ever will with your back. Can I get an amen? Amen. Who here wants some brain money? Say, me. Me too. There's honor in all work. When we lived in Costa Rica, we had gardeners and we had people that would help us around the house. And the wages are a lot different in Costa Rica. I always felt sick to my stomach and I always paid them extra. But the market rate wage for those positions in Costa Rica was $2 an hour. How many dollars an hour? $2 an hour. Now, here's the first question. Did these people work hard? If you know they did, say yes. They worked really hard. But their income was severely constrained because the wealth you create and the income you make is only partially attached to your effort level or the amount you sweat and the amount you suffer. It has to do with our brain. It has to do with thinking differently. And I learned this the hard way because even though I've done some cool stuff now, when my wife and I got married, I was a pizza delivery driver. We lived in a trailer park. We had nothing. I had to file a bankruptcy in my 20s. We've had our electricity shut off. She's had her debit card declined at a grocery store when Maverick, who's right there, was a baby. I'm not disconnected from how hard this game is. It's very hard. But the things I'm going to share with you might change your life for the rest of your life. Now, I've worked with over 1,000 small business owners. This is what I feel like is happening when I'm telling them stuff sometimes, right? I'm like, no, you're looking at it all wrong. And they're like, no, I'm too busy doing it this way, right? Anybody, if we're honest, raise your hand if you've been the person on the bike at one time in your life. Is it just me? No? It's a little stubborn. Entrepreneurs are rebellious. We kind of want to do our own thing. We have to start thinking outside of the box. Who here wants to grow really big? okay? What is really big? I guess it's subjective, right? Well, I will tell you that massive growth is absolutely possible, even in a weird recessionary time. Who here knows the economy is weird? Say, I noticed. Okay, luckily our government has totally got our back, so they're gonna totally figure it out, I'm sure. Massive growth is possible despite the economy, right? A lot of the things that happen to you are really happening for you if you can reframe your brain, okay? But I want to talk about some creepy stuff for just a second, okay? Did you know that according to Ned Davis Research, they're one of these fancy Wall Street firms, they work for like NGOs and government bodies and Wall Street people, they do research. According to them, there's a 98.1% chance that we're going into a global recession this year. That's what they think. They're smart. Did you know that according to the Small Business Administration, there's 32 million small business owners in the United States? That's pretty cool, right? What's not that cool is that 26 million out of the 32 million are 2 weeks away from overdrafting their business or corporate checking account. That's kind of scary. Did you know that according to our government, inflation is this number? Who here believes this number? Say, I do. Oh, what happened? I thought you were with me. Look, I don't know what the real number is, but it's a lot more than 6%. You know, egg prices are set, I don't know how much, $8 for eggs or something. Fuel, energy, have you noticed your suppliers are charging more for their stuff, right? This is a thing that's happening, right? But like I said a minute ago, you don't have to worry because our top politicians totally have your back. It's gonna be great. It's gonna work out, okay? I put everybody in there so no one's offended, okay? Business is hard enough without all the fear, the overthinking that we do, the analysis by paralysis. By the way, are there any overthinkers in the room? Anybody? Is it just me? I want me to tell you something that'll be very helpful for you. The reason you're probably an overthinker is because you're really intelligent. And I'm not saying that to make you feel good about yourself. This is actually true. It's called the Dunning-Krueger effect. People that chronically overthink, that move a little bit slower, it's because they are so aware of everything that could go wrong. They're so hyper aware of their own inadequacies and shortcomings, right? So overthinkers are brilliant people that kind of screw themselves over on accident. And believe it or not, one of the things you'll learn when you meet people with $50 and $100 million businesses or billionaires, which I have friends that are all of those, is that they're not that smart, actually. They're not. They're really not. There's elements of genius and stuff, but they're just people. And then you have the media, right? It's this constant fear mongering that's happening in all the media. It's everywhere. I heard somewhere that we get marketed to 10,000 times a day. Anybody ever heard that? And it doesn't seem like it's possible, but it is, because every truck that drives by that's wrapped is a message hitting your subconscious, right? Every background noise you hear, all the apparel that we're all wearing. This shirt I'm wearing right here, this is a $200 hoodie that was given to me as a gift by a company called Psycho Bunny. It's my favorite. Feels, I think I'm on the spectrum because I love the texture of this thing, but technically you're being marketed to without even thinking about it, even as I walk on the stage, right? And then, like I said, the news and the fear-mongering and things like that. So get ready to write this down and remember this. The hardest person to market to is yourself. The hardest person to sell is us. Can I get a freaking amen? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because I grew up with blue-collar parents that didn't have a lot. But I know for me, I was a chronic overthinker. I was absolutely paralyzed by fear. I still am, oftentimes. And the hardest person for me to get to believe in the mission and the mandate and my purpose and my destiny is me, because we're paralyzed by fear. So sometimes when I'm stressed out, I watch TikTok, okay? Guilty pleasure. Anybody watch TikTok? Okay. It's the most addicting app in the history of mankind, but there's this guy on there. He makes me feel better about myself. So this is an encouragement to you. Let's watch my buddy here.
Hey, you can just do stuff. Like, you don't need anybody's permission or anything. You just kind of come up with weird stuff you want to go do. You just go do it. Okay. Go be weird. Okay, bye.
I love that guy, right? So turn off the news channel, go watch that guy. It helps make it easier for you to market to yourself. Look, the belief that you have that things are going to go well for you is the game. The anticipation of the future outcome that you want and believing that it's possible, that's the game. It's not logging in and memorizing the spreadsheet thing and doing the Facebook button different. We can talk about that stuff. That stuff's valid, but I know from working with over 1,000 people, knees to knees and toes to toes, just like you and myself doing it, and myself building and selling 4 companies, operating 3 more right now. Look, I know that the real game isn't what you think. So my encouragement to you is to stop waiting to go all in on your business. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for a perfect situation to pursue your dreams. Stop waiting for permission to pursue your dreams. I won't make you raise your hand on this one, but I already know a disproportionate percentage of people in this room right now are waiting for permission to even go be successful. My friend Myron Golden always says, stop trying to be successful, start letting yourself be successful. That's a mind bomb. You know, what others say you should do doesn't matter. I do this teaching sometimes. By the way, I only spend about 1/3 of my time teaching. I spend 2/3 of my time building businesses just like you. But when I'm teaching, sometimes I'll do this little exercise. I'll teach people that all of us have 3 pieces of paper in our brains. How many pieces of paper? The first list of paper is called the could list. You can write that down, the could list. The second piece of paper is called the should list. And the third piece of paper is the only one that matters, by the way, hint, is the must list. Now, people get very confused on the difference between these lists. You see, when you're a kid and your parents, maybe you have religious programming or all kinds of trauma and all kinds of stuff that's happening in your brain, your could list is filled up by everybody else. Your could list is filled up by marketers like me. You know what you should do? You could sign up for my program. You could do this. You know, you could do this. And then the second list, the should list, that list gets filled up by people that you give permission to speak into your life. These are people you love. They love you. They probably have good intentions, but who also knows Uncle Larry at Thanksgiving dinner doesn't know how to run a business, right? And Uncle Larry is saying, well, you know what you should do, right? You know what you should do? I saw that there's a Facebook ad. Have you heard of that, right? And so these people are putting things on your list. That's a big problem. If you want to move fast, if you want to have things other people can't have, and do things other people can't do, and know things other people don't know, if you want that, if you know that you were made on purpose for a purpose to change the world, you got to go fast, baby. If you know that, you have to operate off the must list. So again, what others say you should do doesn't matter. It's what you say you must do, and that's all that matters. Are you vibing with me? Say, I'm vibing. Are you feeling the feels? Look, I'm trying to go all in on you for 40 minutes so that you go all in on yourself. So real quick, rapid fire, what the media says, it don't matter. What the government says, it don't matter. What your parents say, what your friends say, what your neighbors say, it does not matter. Going all in is what matters, and it's hard. Some of y'all got some Uncle Larrys we need to distance ourselves from when we go back home. Can I get an amen? Okay, you can say it quiet because we love Uncle Larry. I apologize if anybody here is named Larry and an uncle, but betting on yourself is what matters. Actually, when you come to an event like this, I understand that this is it's inconvenient. It costs real money. You have to pay to come here. You have to pay to travel here. You have to pay for your lodging when you're here. And then you're going to, buy other things. And it can be scary. There's an investment that happens. But really, the way to look at it is you're making a bet on yourself. That's what you're doing by being here. And it's one thing to believe that success in general is possible. That's not even hard. I love in the Bible it says, you think you're great because you believe in God. It says even the demons believe in God. Okay? So thinking that success is possible is not a big deal. That doesn't make you successful. It doesn't matter if you think success is possible. Debbie parades people up on the stage with $1 million businesses and $2 million businesses and $3 million businesses, and they have these maid service empires, right? And so it's possible. What's really important is that you believe it's possible for you. That's the hard part, right? Anybody else struggle with self-limiting beliefs? Myron Golden says that a self-limiting belief is, he calls it, I'm just me-itis. It's an inflammation of the I'm just me gland, right? But that's what happens, right? I'm here to tell you, you can definitely do it, okay? Just like this guy from, I forget the movie, but it's awesome. Waterboy, yes, Waterboy. And again, just to beat it into your head, the hardest person to market to is yourself. Everything is marketing. Marketing is everything. The way you talk to yourself is marketing. The words you say when you look at yourself in the mirror after you get out of the shower is marketing. The way that you cuss out a guy that cuts you off in traffic while your 7-year-old watches you do that is marketing. Everything is marketing. Everything is choreographed communication happening. You are a walking radio transmitter of energy going out to your family, your friends, your employees, your staff, and the belief that you have by betting on yourself is contagious. Who here has met a magnetic person? Say, I have. These people are not geniuses, but they have certainty, right? They walk with this like certainty where they're like, I'm going here, and they believe it, and if you don't believe it, they're cool with it, but they're like tunnel vision doing this, and it's magnetic because you want to follow these people. These are leaders. You can see them. Some of your employees have this gift. You can see it in them. Some of you have this, and you felt it. You get goosebumps for a minute, and then you like get scared, and you stop, right? You can feel that you're born to lead, that you're born to build. You know, God made us to make stuff and created us to create stuff. That's how that works, right? Everything is marketing. But ask yourself this: what marketing do you currently believe about money? If your business does less than $1 million in revenue, raise your hand for me. I think most, right? Okay. So what happens is people get in this weird stage. My friend Mike Dahlke calls it cash flow purgatory. Anybody here like have 30, 40, 50 grand a month come in, and then you're like, wow, that's pretty good. But there's no money left. You're like, what happened? That ever happen? Right? There's this weird hard stage, and it depends on your business and the economics, and people get stuck. And the reason they get stuck isn't what they think. Oftentimes they think it's because, no one wants to work. The millennials, these freaking millennials, they don't want to work anymore, right? Or it's some external factor, but a lot of times it has to do with our beliefs about money. For me, I grew up blue collar. My parents love me. They loved me, but money was a very stressful topic in our house growing up. Lots of fights, lots of yelling. It was a whole thing. Money felt very hard to get. I know I'm not alone in that description of an upbringing, right? So if you believe right now that getting money is hard, it will be. Period. One of our family slogans is to do hard things. But when my wife and I, kind of adopted that saying, we were not saying become a hardologist. We're not saying make things harder than they have to be, right? We're just saying that everything you want is just on the other side of a few hard things, which is inspirational. And we put this on shirts for our kids. I have do hard things on a onesie for Judah when she was little, right? But if you believe getting money is hard, it will be. If you believe that money is evil, you will not become wealthy. You can't. You want to know why? Because you'll never pursue that which you despise. How can you become the very thing that you loathe deep down? How can you, a good person, accumulate the money required to call yourself wealthy when you believe that it's bad to be that thing? This is bad marketing. Another one is money is limited. I wish I could talk for a half an hour just in the fact that money is infinite. Money is actually spiritual. There's also a difference between currency and money, but I'll save that for a different time. But anyway, the next question I want you to ask yourself is, what marketing do you currently believe about yourself? For me, I'm projecting a little. Can I project for a minute? Here's my big one. I'm not worthy. Who am I, right? I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. If you believe that, you can't be successful all the way, right? Can you see it? It's obvious. I'm not smart enough. There's another one. And another one, I need more resources. So I saw this amazing teaching by Myron where he was talking about the difference between confirmation and transformation. Anybody have any UAW workers in their family? Anybody? All my Michigan people, they're all union. They work for General Motors and things, right? And if you go into an auto manufacturing plant, you see these things called dies. And they're sometimes 3 or 4 stories tall, huge piece of steel, gigantic, huge, scary thing. People die from these machines sometimes. And what it does is they roll the sheet metal underneath the die, and this big piece of steel is shaped a certain way, and they drop it like an elevator with no cable, right? Boom, and it comes down, and it stamps the sheet metal into the shape that they need it to be. That's conforming the sheet metal. That's what conformation means. Transformation, on the other hand, is when something inside you changes the world around you. You know, all of us, the Bible says, be not conformed by the, help me. Be not conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, right? I got there, thank you. I needed some help. Transformation in a business context is very simple. It means that your beliefs inside change, which makes it easier for your actions on the outside to change. Can I get an amen? It's not about doing stuff. It's about feeling like doing the stuff. What if you could wake up every day with excitement like you did when you were 8 years old before Christmas morning? What if you actually felt like that? Do you think you would make more money in your business or grow faster? Say, mine would. Literally, logically, intellectually, how could you not succeed faster if you felt like that, right? So the inside needs to change. So fear is the disease of bad marketing going on in your head. Most of the things we're scared of are not really real. Some of it is. I don't like it when people say, you know, fear is false evidence appearing real. It's like, well, sometimes it's like legit, right? Like when they repossessed my car, that was like actually happening. That wasn't fun. If I'm in the forest and there's a polar bear, which is one of the only animal species that will natively hunt humans, just there's a new fear unlocked for all of you. It's not unreasonable to have fear. Fear can serve you, but most small business owners' fears are completely made up because we're conformed by everybody else's expectations. Who do you think you are? You didn't do good in school. I didn't do good in freaking school? Come on, there's a difference between schooling and education, yes? Okay, I'm a fan of education, but it's so hard to break free, and entrepreneurism is all about this rebellious kind of spirit of thinking out of the box, realizing there is no box, lighting the box on fire, right? And just to make you feel better about yourself and me, let's talk for 2 seconds about how irrational human beings are. Humans truly are irrational creatures, me included, all of us included. The most logical among us are 100% operating on emotion. They just don't think that they are. All of us, you know, what's this quote where it says we buy an emotion and justify with logic? Have you heard that? We do this stuff. So I think this is interesting. Did you know that bad tasting medicine has a higher efficacy rate, which means it works better? Did you know that? Did you know that Red Bull, the drink, the sports drink, you know that one of the reasons they're so successful that they sold 6 billion cans of Red Bull last year? By the way, it only costs 9 cents a can to make Red Bull, right? So when you don't want to raise your prices, remember Red Bull, right? Because it's like $4 a can. Now, why do people buy it? Well, one of the big reasons why is because people subconsciously think it's medicine. That's why their slogan says it gives you wings. What they're saying, which you might not have realized, is it like does stuff to you. That's what they're saying. But the cute way to say it is it gives you wings. And because it tastes bad, comes in a tiny can and tastes like crap, people keep buying it. Because they're like, this definitely is doing something, right? If you take medicine and you take the medicine and it tastes like a sugar plum, you think the medicine doesn't work even though it does. But did you know that because you think it doesn't work, then it doesn't work? Did you know that? This isn't Tony Robbins woo-woo stuff. This is documented fact. Like placebo effect in our brain is reality, okay? And so with medicine, a lot of medicine manufacturers, they add tastes into the medicine that are bad because it makes it work better. Isn't that weird? Here's another fun one. Did you know that wine poured from a heavy bottle tastes better? People get confused on this one because they think what I'm saying is that wine from a heavy bottle, people think that it tastes better. But that's not what I said. What I said was wine from a heavy bottle does taste better. And the reason why is because the way the person consumes the wine changes when they think it's expensive. Who here has been to a restaurant and spent more than $200 on a single meal? Anybody? You know, fancy occasions and things. When Ashlee and I got married, we weren't 21, we were 20. And I took off my Domino's Pizza delivery uniform, put on my only clean shirt, and we drove to a hotel to celebrate. And we went to this restaurant. You know the restaurant's expensive when they don't have the dollar sign next to the price, right? And the fork is like heavy. The linens are thick. They had a dedicated water guy that runs up to your table and pours the bottle over his arm like this, right? And like the water guy probably makes 65 grand a year, right? So that environment feels different. And the way that I chew my steak changes based on the way it feels. And a heavy wine bottle, or really the point of this example is, if you think it's expensive or more valuable, or if you think it's premium, you savor it different. The bottle, what are the wine? Debbie's a wine nerd, right? So there's like legs and aromas or something with wine. I don't know. I'm not a wine person. My point of saying all this, though, is to help remind you that a lot of what you're doing and not doing is rooted in emotion, and the emotion is dictating your actions, and you got to believe in yourself and go all in on yourself. Try to change your inner world, and the outer world will start to catch up. And then my last discount for this part is $5 discounts. There's a book called Predictably Irrational. It's incredible. You should all just buy it and read it. Predictably Irrational talks about a $5 coupon. They did a study. They mailed out $5 off a $5 pen coupon to a local market. And tons of people, clipped out. My wife is a very thrifty woman, okay? Her favorite store is Goodwill, right? Say amen, Ash. Okay. So when she sees a $5 off a $5 item, she's like getting in her minivan and like going there, right? But what they found is that the same $5 off is less than worthless if it's applied to like a $500 item. Okay, now follow me. This is a little weird. My wife will get in minivan, buckle seatbelt, drive van, walk in, get $5 item for free with the right? So for $5, she does all that stuff. Let's say it takes 46 minutes round trip, okay? So in scenario A, 46 minutes of her time is worth $5. Now, that's not, of course, how we think of it, but that's what it is. And then scenario B, she's like, oh, I'm not doing that just to save $5, right? I'm not going to go buy my $500 dress and save $5. Like, we don't even think about it, right? Why? Because humans are irrational. So what's the moral of the story? This is the moral of the story. You ready? Say, I'm ready. I'm ready. All right, let's finish strong. The marketing with the biggest ROI is always done on yourself. That's where the money is at. That's where the exponential growth comes from. It's really true. It's actually really true. I know it sounds crazy. If you're struggling, if you're broke, if your business is stuck, if you want to give up, if you are hating everything about showing up to work on Monday morning, if you came to this event as a last resort because you said, if this doesn't work, I'm done with this crap, I'm telling you right now, it's really true that you're this far away from gold. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you watched, click the video on the left to watch the previous upload. And if you want one of my personal favorites, click the video on the right. And of course, don't forget to hit the middle to subscribe so you never miss an upload. Thank you again for being on this journey with me.